I've been gardening for about a year now, and this is the first time that I've had a garden of my own. The food that I grow in my garden is a lot healthier than the food that you buy at stores, because we don't use any chemicals or chemical fertilizers, and chemicals do a lot of things to the food that you buy that can make you sick.
I'm not only a farmer, but I'm a consumer too, so what I grow, I also eat. We've just sort of developed this really strong bond. We have this thing in common, and it's like a sisterhood.
The support that I have been getting from other women farmers in the community has just been wonderful. The more I get to know them, the more I love them. It has encouraged me to take heart when this is a very financially inviable way of earning an income, that there are other benefits one can glean from being a farmer. And to stick it with it and keep trying. There's a market out there for organic produce, and it's increasing all the time.
I think you have to really find something in working in the soil other than the monetary return, because if you sit down and think about how much you make in an hour, you could make more at McDonald's. There's no doubt that it's a lot of work. It's a tremendous amount of work, but I find that it's also very therapeutic. It brings me back down to earth. It reminds me of what's important in my life. I'm really concerned about how difficult it is for young people to have access to land. It's so expensive, and there's such pressure on the land for housing and urban situations. So I think I feel it's almost a responsibility to farm sustainably and to provide our customers with clean food.
So I have been gardening in this spot for 6 years. I moved in and found this lush garden, and it has since expanded to incorporate 3 different families using it, actually. And so I share it with my landlady and her daughter. And there's an organization that started up called Lincoln Land and Future Farmers, which is searching for land and farmers to connect, so that there will be more organic produce produced, and so that some of the farms that have gone fallow from farmers who aren't using them for whatever reasons actually can be utilized. And so I have found a piece of land through this organization, and am in the process of cultivating and planting a winter garden there.
regular Saturday morning, I usually wake up at about 6 o'clock, and I come out here and pick tomatoes and lettuce and all the things that need to be kept in water and need to be picked freshly. Selling at the market is fun because it's fun to just tell people about growing organically, because a lot of people don't know about it. And it's just fun to sell there because there's a lot of other things there, like craft people, and you can eat lunch there because there's a lot of people that sell food.
Quite often at the market, people ask me, why are you charging this much when I can get tomatoes from Mexico or Chile cheaper? But what we offer our customers at the market is picked at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and the market opens at 10, so it's 2 hours old when it's sold, compared to 2 days or even 2 weeks old. So the taste is wonderful.
I do something unique that I don't have enough land of my own, so that I use elderly people's land as well, so that they can continue to have a garden in their backyard, continue to have people around their yard, and I get to use their space and share the produce with other people. It's hard work, but it's a great love of mine.
When I had a job at the library for 7 years and went to my bank to get a loan to buy a piece of land, I discovered that I didn't qualify. So I thought, what was the sense in having this job if I couldn't even get my piece of land? So that I might as well get out there and at least be working somebody's land. And so I started gardening here. When you cultivate your own plants with an eye to growing your own seeds, you are actually creating a whole life cycle in which the plants adjust to your specific climate and your specific ground and become stronger and more vigorous through constantly being seed saved and planted from seed. That especially happens with the beans that I'm doing. I believe that it also happens with corn, with tomatoes, with, well, flowers too. Flower seeds that come up in your garden from the ones you had last year are really vigorous.
Women that I've talked to elsewhere that do this kind of work often use adjectives like nurturing and mothering and a lot of things like thinking of the earth as their child, or thinking of the earth as the mother, or some sort of almost spiritual connotation like that. And I think that's something that women everywhere have in common. Women that grow food seem to do it for more than just reasons of sustenance, although that's most important. But there's this other element, and I think a lot of people have trouble talking about it because it's something that's hard to describe. And when we got together as a group, the women in our group started talking about this, and it was almost like you could see these women's faces light up, and they were all saying, yeah, I feel that way too, but I've never even had a chance to talk about it. in Canada we have very little farmland, and what we do have is really the topsoil is eroding, you know, at such a rate that I think if we don't change the methods that we farm into something more sustainable, we're not going to be able to farm in Canada at all.